a typical Molusi College graduate. And of course, only the best, we proudly say, is good enough for Molusi College. We were taught to recite this daily, and it goes thus. We can become whatever we choose to be. No king, no lord, no knave can say us nay. For we believe that man is a potential doctor, or lawyer, or crook, or dwarf, or giant, or whichever he set his mind to be. We shall be giants, and therefore we shall walk, and walk, and walk, and walk, even if we must walk our fingers to the bone. So help us God. Fond memories all true. These trainings and admonitions later became my guiding principle all through my sojourn at Lagos State College of Education, Ijaniki, University of Ibadan, and University of Lagos, where I had my master's in educational administration and planning. It is worth to note that I was born when Nigeria's economic was not only thriving, but booming. I was raised when the provision of social amenities were a given, when leaders were committed to the true cause of nationhood, when we were carried our nation's flag with pride and honor, and we lined up on the streets as students to appreciate and welcome our visiting leaders. I was nurtured when it was pride to go to public schools as against private schools, and when, despite pockets of robberies, the nation was relatively safe. I asked myself, can we say the same of the present times? At what point did we miss it? All hope is not lost. We can still retrace our steps as a nation and change the narrative. We can still achieve such an amazing and egalitarian society if only we can remember where we are coming from and do the needful. For me, I see a new Nigeria that all our Sunday will be proud of, a Nigeria that will shun tribalism, embrace religious tolerance, and respect the rule of law. Our children certainly deserve a brighter and better tomorrow, not the memories of good old days. I am joining hands with Sir Shemode Badejo in this collective drive towards a greater and better tomorrow. How about you? Thank you.
Hello and welcome to What Are You Saying? #Ways, where we talk about topics in the news as it affects us all. I am Usayome Saleh, and today I'm joined by Milola and Isia Fodele. Hi, ladies.
Hi.
I love my jacket today, Milola. This looks really nice.
You look like a Chinese princess.
Yeah,
she's like forever a Chinese lady. Forever.
And you look good too.
Thank you.
How's it been?
I like the color of your hair.
Thank you.
I love brunette color. I don't know. I think I'm going to dye my hair sometimes. Maybe in my 40s. Yes.
Oh,
I'm going to go on low cut and I'm going to be on colored hair.
I
look too serious for that.
You're too serious for that.
I love
I'm going
the
to try it.
Well, how are you? You look lovely. I love your dress.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
I love the fabric.
Thank
It's
you.
really nice.
Thank you. Now the work when we did do now.
And the work they do, I can see you were busy signing deals on the phone before the show. Please, where's my percentage, you?
Business
You shall
is
get
good.
yours.
Skincare, but it's nice.
After you have already performed the work.
No, but it was interesting hearing a man ordering skincare for his wife.
Men do that. I have a lot of
it's not
male,
interesting,
and sometimes it's not just for
wonderful.
them, for the woman in their life, but for themselves as well. I have some male customers that want to actually jump
Glow.
their skin tone, not just glow,
Wow.
want to get lighter.
Wow. That's what we call vain men, though.
Vain, really vain.
Well, there's just something very icky about
Very
men
icky. Let's do that.
that tone their skin. It doesn't.
Sit well.
It doesn't sit well because men are not supposed to be like that, but
it's what it is.
it is what it is. Really.
You are just cashing out.
As long as you pay me my money, what can I do?
I hope he's not watching the show.
No, he's not watching. How are you, Issy?
I'm well. In fact, I've been good. As a matter of fact, he had to drag me out here, but it's all good. I won't complain.
This way. We're talking communication today, and here's what we found as today's quote. Communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality of every part of your life. This is a quote from Brian Tracy. As I said earlier, we're talking communication, and a lot of times people make so many mistakes about communication. So to effectively communicate, we must realize that we are all different in the way we perceive the world, and use this understanding as a guide to our communication with others. That's another quote by Tony Robbins. What's the impact of communicating right? You know, what does it do when you communicate right? Regina Chris Ogbodo is here to discuss this, but first we'll take a break to see what we found in the news. You're still watching Ways now. On September 29th, the World Heart Foundation or Federation organizes World Heart Day to reduce global mortality from non-communicable diseases, which kill 41 million people worldwide per year. But to be more specific, cardiovascular disease are responsible for at least half of the NCD. That includes heart disease and stroke. Other NCDs counts cancer, chronic respiratory disease, and diabetes. How to prevent them, avoid tobacco and also alcohol use, unhealthy diet and physical activities could drastically reduce death by 80%. Be responsible and pay attention to your health. In case you're wondering how to take care of your health, I think one way is to just avoid alcohol completely. I think we're supposed to be having Jennifer on Zoom. Oh my God, I completely forgot my...
Oh my gosh.
Is she on Zoom right now?
She's supposed to be on Zoom, please. Guys, help me check on Jennifer. She's supposed to be on Zoom. But quickly, let me hear your thoughts on heart health.
Oh, health. Our hearts. You said the only thing that caught my attention in the whole story was when you talked about the fact that we have to abstain from alcohol. But in Nigeria today, who can actually abstain from alcohol? Very few people, with all the mental health issues that we have, the challenges.
So you do want to now complicate your issues by increasing smoking and alcohol?
It's about excessive indulgence.
Excessive,
That's what I think
exactly.
the challenge
You have to
is.
be. It has
As long
to be
as you have moderation and control
Absolutely.
over alcoholic consumption, a little bit doesn't do no harm.
It
Because
I say red wine is good for the heart. Yeah. Well, for those that are wondering what I will be doing for my heart health, on Saturday, I got an invite to go run what is it, marathon at the Power Oil running stuff. It's going to happen from, I think I will be at Ikoyi Bridge.
You're going to run from Ikoyi to
my sister, I don't know.
To Lekki.
I saw testing, but you better not be there.
I don't want to.
But trust me, I will do as my power can take. It is just to be walking small.
Well, you're going to see it through. Even if you're the last person that gets there.
No problem, but I'm going to walk.
You're going to see it through.
I will try to see it through.
That's impressive.
No, let's rephrase. Osayiwa Mel will strut.
Now you sabi. If you're looking for me on Saturday,
she must take selfie.
Hold on, I'll have to take selfie now. That's the whole idea. If you're looking for me on Saturday, I want to go and run at the Power Oil running whatever. So I was invited, so I want to go there and to try my luck. I've never done any marathon in my life.
I would never try it.
So in case you are around the corner, you can come and hang with us.
I think I'm skinny enough.
I would rather run on the spot on my treadmill and get my cardio work done and tell myself that I've shared some calories than go and run on the road.
Don't worry, I'll be fine. I'll be fine. Uti is coming along with me.
Yeah, Uti is she's very fit for those kind of work.
So, Isi, what did you find for us in the news?
Okay, paternity. We're all used to seeing our fathers, our mothers actually being going on maternity leaves. But in this case, we have our fathers going on paternity leave. I had a friend who actually had a baby, and what he said was, "Oh, my wife just gave birth to a baby boy. Oh, not to worry, daddy and baby boy are doing well." So
no, that's interesting.
So he was excited about it, not just about the fact that the wife had the baby. So the federal government has approved paternity leave for civil servants.
What about us, public servants? Who gets to give us a paternity leave?
Who? You
Public
can go on a paternity leave. So I think this was done by the federal government. The vice president of Nigeria, Vice President Yemi Oshibanjo, on Wednesday, as he approved the paternity leave for federal civil servants in the country. I think they were allowed to go for about 2 weeks. Yes. Absolutely.
How much is 2 weeks? I think 2 weeks is a bit too small. I think it's okay that men are available.
They're not the most trying time.
No. The most trying time for a nursing mother is the transition between pregnancy and childbirth. The first 1 month, the baby doesn't get used to the fact that it's outside of the womb. Yeah. And there can be a lot to deal with. Absolutely. You know, the one has just left the phase of carrying the pregnancy, going through labor, and then she has to contend with nights, wake up. It's a lot. You know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Or don't you? We could use a bit of help. When the man knows that he's not going to work, he could just stay a bit. He could stay with you at night, and you can rotate the shifts of handling the baby. Maybe there's a breast of milk in the bottle and all those kind of things, and then women can sleep. So really, it makes sense. They could give them 1 month.
It's better to do 1 month. That's what you're suggesting. Yes. I think so. One month
makes sense than 2 weeks. 2 weeks is a bit too short.
The mother has been given 3 months maternity.
Yeah, so it's not about the mother.
It's
about having a support structure.
It's the nature that would even force you to be at home.
I understand that. I'm just saying that at least they got something.
So we should be grateful.
They should hold on to what they have. Exactly. And the reason is to give the father and the child
a bonding time.
Babies
don't bond with anybody other than the mom. The only thing, even the baby is just bonding with the breast, not even the mom.
Let's hear your story.
What I found in the news is another interesting story around COVID-19. And it says, federal government bans 2,000 people from traveling for evading COVID-19 tests. It's interesting to find out that people actually avoid doing the test and they self-generate results of a positive COVID-19 test and present it upon the arrival.
Negative test, you mean?
Negative, yes, negative, sorry. So, but now it seems there's been a lot of that going on, and the federal government has decided to clamp down on some people and make scapegoat out of them.
Giving out
the fake test. One.
Exactly. And how are they authenticating it in the first place?
You can do it in a computer school now. I reckon you can always use computer simulations and edit those things and get it.
I understand that, but
so I don't think it has anything to do with hospitals. People actually get it out anyhow they do.
Before
I do not know.
before it even became what it is today, I think there was a case of the UK stating that Nigerians always come in with fake, what's it called, COVID tests. So it's not just about whether you generate it from the internet or you don't generate it. There is an official that is actually giving it out without actually doing the due diligence.
So the hospitals that they get to present a fake COVID test from should actually get sanctioned
penalized,
as well.
yeah.
Yes, because it's not just individual. Someone is actually aiding and abetting that process.
Precisely.
Oh yeah, they have to have an insider for you to have that test
Absolutely.
result. Right, so the sad story of, there was a viral video that went around of people where they saw armed men shooting at people. In fact, I couldn't watch that video. I can't still bring myself to watch it. But people that watched it, eventually news broke this morning that the person that was killed in that video was Professor Dora Akunyili, the late DG of NAFDAC.
Wow.
Her husband, Dr. Chike Akunyili. Yeah, he was the one that was killed amongst 7 other people that were killed.
Where was that?
This was in Onitsha. He was on his way from Onitsha, where he went to, he had gone, returning from a trip from Onitsha, where he had gone to obtain a posthumous award of excellence for his late wife, when he ran into the hoodlums at this particular place, Umpo, so where he was shot and killed. The hoodlums was gathered were chanting "No elections in Anambra" in November. Wow. This is really, really, really sad. Really sad. And in another news again, the Senate has asked our president, because yesterday we talked about why I took this story, because yesterday in our What's in the News, we just dedicated it towards insecurity, because we're talking about the security challenges, what had happened in Abuja, the Shite issues, the alerts that were given in Lagos and all of that. So imagine, and again, so it's actually a sad thing when you hear these kinds of things. And again, would I say that it's not coming close to home, because it's like
it's already home.
Everywhere around you, people were kidnapped just on Admiralty here. This is where we take almost on a daily basis. So the Senate again, in another news, has told the president to declare bandits terrorists. Right, they are asking the president to declare them as terrorists. Right, it's one thing for you to call these things that we're facing, call it what it is, so that you know how you can deal with it, right?
It's not banditry anymore.
Yeah, they asked the president to also wage total war against the criminals, including bombing all their locations to annihilate and eliminate them. So we don't know how this is going to happen, how this would work. I mean, I remember they were saying that the late, what's her name, Arumote, I mean, that pilot, the female pilot, that was her name.
Yes.
I mean, part of what she was doing was actually dropping bombs at the exact locations of the Boko Haram. Boko Haram spot. So, I mean, it's not like these places where these bandits are camping, it's not like it's hidden to these people. So why are we not winning this war against it? It's so sad. We're just losing people unnecessarily. People are just dying unnecessarily.
Like we're self-sabotaging ourselves as
I
a
tell
country
you.
When we look away from crime, just because they affect some people when the right law takes effect.
Yeah.
It's very disturbing.
All right, so we're going to take a break. When we return from the break, we would be talking communication, and hopefully we'll be able to find Jennifer. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Praise God, from whom all blessings flow. Welcome to your favorite program, The Moment of Truth, brought to you by the Citadel Global Community Church. Our
God is a God of salvation, far above all principality and power, and might and dominion, that regardless of what happens in this season, you will escape. Say to your neighbor, there is no peace for the wicked. The lazy man does not roast what he took in hunting, but diligence is a man's precious possession. Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord and in the power of his might.
Moment of Truth with Pastor Tunde Bakare, Sundays, 7 p.m. on Plus TV Africa.
Increase the reach of your events or business services. To advertise on Plus TV Africa, please call 0906 000 5719 or 0909 040 8408, or send an email to marketing@plustvafrica.com. Plus TV Africa. Big stories live here.
Businesses in Africa can be very challenging. In Nigeria, it is particularly intimidating, and successful builders have learned how to navigate a hostile environment to unlock opportunities. But one major challenge businesses face is how to filter through the noise and identify where their ideal customers exist. Get insight and practical steps from industry players and captains of industries. Hear success stories to help you make informed decisions as you scale your business in Nigeria. Watch Business Insights at this time on Plus TV Africa.
Hello and welcome. It's Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. Nimasa This Week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. Statutorily mandated to ensure that there is regulation and promotion of matters affecting our waters. NIMASA bears responsibility for search and rescue, shipping development, and ship registration.
NIMASA This Week, the voice of maritime, showing on this channel.
What we do not understand, we will stigmatize.
What you can see is the remaining of the tanker that exploded.
It's often equally confessed.
A 500 naira they collect them.
If you no talk, then go beat you.
Now 2,500 they pay.
Thanks for staying with us. Now, Yoguda Burge was quoted to say, words are singularly the most powerful force available to humanity. We can choose to use this force constructively with words of encouragement or destructively using words of despair. Words have energy and power with the ability to help, to heal, to hinder, to hurt, to harm, to humiliate, and to humble. Now, in Nigeria today, there's a big communication gap as from government to people or people to government or people to people constantly have issues understanding what one party is saying. And this remains a big reason some problems linger. So my coach, our DJ of blessed memory, would always say, mispronounced words have the capacity to kill. So tonight we want to understand the impact of miscommunication communication, starting with right pronunciations. As simple as it may seem, this can completely change the meaning of what is being said. I hope you know that. All right, so let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. All right, so because we didn't have Jennifer in the first place, let me start with Jennifer. Jennifer, welcome. Sorry. How are you? How is Abuja?
I'm fine. Abuja is fine.
All right, so quickly, when you hear the word communication and, communicating right, what comes to your mind?
Basically exchanging information either by speaking or by writing, basically expressing oneself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. How about you, Isi?
Verbal.
Non-verbal
communication. So it now depends on the type of communication you are actually
There comes
doing.
the expert.
Sha, don't turn us to lecture hall today.
But the bottom line is, verbal communication is essential. How you pronounce your words, how you articulate the words when you're speaking is essential. Why? That is how you actually communicate effectively.
That's it.
In Nigeria, we say the word says when it's supposed to be says.
Says.
So
No, I
there are
didn't
different ways.
Says instead of
says, not
yes.
says.
Yeah. Okay.
And I think there was a time I actually made the correction on the agape instead of agape.
No,
we say
one,
agape.
I think
so
I'm familiar
there are
with that
different
one.
ways
Is
we
it
actually
says and
communicate.
says?
So pronunciation is essential. Like you said, pronunciation can kill.
No, it can. I didn't want me.
You're passionate about speaking properly. I'm trying to be adhesive right now.
How about you, Bilola? How far are you
is-
good? How good are you with communication?
I reckon I think I'm so good with communication because oftentimes I miscommunicate with my best of intention. And like a friend of mine would say, nobody can see you happy. Like, yeah, I know you have a beautiful life, but come on. It's what you does that matters. So I know that effective communication is very critical to our relationship with your friends, with your business partner, on the workplace, whether you're running businesses, and even with the people you're involved with intimately. A lot of the time, challenges that we go through is as a result of wrong communication.
Miscommunication, absolutely.
Yeah, so I believe it's something that is critical and we need to work on it consistently.
I actually pay attention to words. I mean, when you're talking to me and there are specific words you use, I hold on to those words.
You do?
Yes,
Thank
I
you
do.
for telling me. So
I hold on to those words because for me, first of all, I like that when you say something, stick to what you say. Do not, and I mean, for me, words are very important to me. I think I'm very sensitive to words. I'm not so much of but it is just the choice of your words. I want to believe that whatever word is coming out of my mouth, I should believe it. And once I hold on to it, and maybe you do something the opposite.
Contrary.
Let us bring in our guest. Regina Chris-Ogbodo is a broadcast journalist with more than 2 decades of experience. Amongst many things, she is a member of the Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, a member of the Chair Blair Foundation, an ambassador of global peace under the UNESCO. Now currently serving as the CEO of Reggie Panache Training Consult. I'm trying today, where they teach people on proper diction, elocution, and presentation while raising great speakers. They also help corporate organizations reposition their staff by improving their communication skills with direct training on public speaking and social intelligence. She recently authored a book titled The New Normal and a guide to online moderating. And she's here in the capacity of her new role as the vice president of the Association of Diction Coaches in Nigeria. No, I needed to do that because I'm sure RJ will be smiling his great diction coaches. Hi, RJ, my coach. But thank you so much for coming, Regina.
You're welcome, and you did a great job.
Panache.
You took your time to pronounce each word, albeit, well, I'm not in class, so let's go on. Let's go on.
But communication has remained one of the biggest challenges that I see happening. I mean, again, when you look at for instance, our Minister for Information and Communication, or the Commissioner for Information, or the people that are supposed to be at the front burner disseminating information to the people, you always see that there's a huge disconnect. You know, I don't know whether it's coming from the place of where people do not trust the people in government, or I don't know what that is, but I also believe that there's a role where communicating right plays, you know, in passing an information. Maybe you should help us break it down. How important is it to communicate right?
Absolutely, without sounding like a broken bottle or whatever you want to call it. Communication cannot be removed from humanity. It's actually the vehicle that makes humanity what it is. Whatever ever happens on earth, without communication, we wouldn't have gotten there. So it's a given that without communication, there would not be progress, there would not be development, and of course, there would not be growth. Talking about, you know, it's a wide concept of, let me put it that way. Yes, it's a wide concept, but we could decide to put it within the caveat of what we're talking about. What am I saying? What do I expect as a response from you when I talk to you matters a lot. I could say something, yes, I spoke, but does not mean that I actually said what should be said, because your response to me would determine if what I conveyed was actually what I needed to return back to me. And so in Nigeria, we...
Sorry. Go ahead.
And we have that communication gap across. You've mentioned that the minister, the commissioners, not because they did not go to school. We always try to say that. It's not because they didn't go to school, but because the vehicle they use in sending the message always isn't right. You talked about say and says. Exactly. Now, a typical Hausa person like me, once you say, you're speaking English and you get to the point and you say, my mind goes off, because what it means in Hausa is entirely something else. So if we agree that English is our lingua franca, why not say it right? Precisely. We're not copying, but we need to speak it right. I cannot say legally ayorinde, and then I'll go Anglo-Saxon by saying legally, it's insulting and it's disrespectful. So if we must speak that language properly, why not convey the way it ought to be done? And moreover, we should agree that the world's main language, whether you like it or not, irrespective of the number of people on earth, English is the vehicle. So let's use it well. That's the point.
So we step in.
Wait, don't step anything.
So we run foul of the law, not using the right diction when we're speaking English.
Absolutely, we run foul of it.
Irrespective of the fact that some of us have got...
It's not our...
No, not that.
Accent and all the factors.
You know, when a non-Yoruba person speaks Yoruba, they're speaking with an accent. If it is not your languages, there's a bit of a mother tongue interference with pronunciation. Not everybody is going to be comfortable enough. I love the way you speak, by the way.
Thank
you. Need to see me listen to you like a song. You sound like a bird singing.
Thank you
know,
so
I
much.
remember, I love the way people speak, and I love to speak properly. I'm still struggling with my right pronunciation and everything, but it's something that I'm conscious of, and I would love to work on it.
Okay.
Right. So I mentioned that to her before because I think I like her better. I'm going to follow her. She's going to be my teacher.
Enjoy.
I love the fact that you're from the northern part of the country, and nothing in your pronunciation reflects your ethnic background.
Yeah, exactly.
We need to be able to dissociate ourselves from our roots. I don't think I agree with that.
I'm not dissociated. In fact, I cannot do that. If I should speak Hausa right now, you would never believe that I speak English.
Precisely.
That's the truth.
So you'll be
the
able
ability to
switch
effectively.
effectively.
That's the word.
And maintain the
naturalness.
Please, can you say something in Hausa to me? The
point is this. When an Englishman wants to speak Hausa, he consciously and deliberately wants to speak it. The way the tones rise and fall. Why don't we learn such? I've seen Chinese, I've seen Germans speak Hausa that you would never believe. If you don't see them, you would never believe that they were not Hausa people. So why not just learn it? Because
so I think the problem we have is that we think it's just because it's not my tongue or something, I don't need to learn. But I mean, I get your point. But let me come to. I will come to Jennifer before I come to you.
Go to Jennifer.
I want to come because you are in the same WhatsApp group. We are the learners here. Jennifer, are you there?
Yes.
No, that should have been.
Go ahead, Jennifer.
She fits this brief too.
Okay, so for me, basically, when it comes to communication, I feel like it's when you say something or you're passing across information to the other person or you're speaking to someone and they can understand you clearly. They understand what you are saying. Now, when it comes to the government, they don't communicate. They basically just speak to us. They tell us what they want us to do and what they expect of us. They just put it out there and then that's it. That's why you have the president having forums where he's basically just reading from a paper and then you don't have reporters who are there to actually ask him questions. But then when you bring it down to the regular Nigerian, I saw a page on Instagram. It's a school where they teach kids phonetics. And honestly, I was very disappointed because a lot of people are always carrying phonetics on their head and making it seem like that's everybody has to speak like that. The truth is, we can't all speak like that. We cannot all speak like that. There are people who have these accents, and till thy kingdom come, those accents will never go away. The only thing that I feel like they can do is to work on their English and work on their diction to make sure that they are pronouncing the words right, so that the next person can understand what they are saying. The video I saw on Instagram, the reason why I said I was very disappointed is because these kids were starting to sound like they had hot yam in their mouth. And they were starting to sound like they had British accent or American accent. And it is not needed. We are Nigerians. We are supposed to sound like Nigerians. Now, before, I used to be one of those people where when you hear an Igbo person speaking with an Igbo accent, you're like, I'm Igbo. And I have seen people, Hausas, or even people from Akwa Ibom or Calabar or Yoruba, where they have those dictions or those accents so that when they speak, you can easily identify the tribe this person is coming from. But guess what? Recently, I saw somewhere where somebody said something. The person said that not a lot of us had the opportunity to grow up in this city. Some people grew up in the villages, and they also went to their universities there, but they had these accents. And I don't think that anyone should be trying to get rid of their tribal accent just because you're supposed to sound a certain type of way. I feel like as far as you can communicate, you're pronouncing your words right, and the person beside you can understand you clearly, then I think you're good.
So let me say something. I would like you to respond to Jennifer. Because there was something that I used to say. So when I say I want to ask you a question, when I go, I want to ask you a question. This ask was heaven that delivered me from ask. So again, and I hear a lot of people say, I want to ask you a question. Ask is A-X-E, meaning you want to kill somebody. That's it. You know, so I understand that part of where Jennifer is talking about not losing your mother tongue or whatever, but English remains English. And English, if you must speak it, you must speak it right. But you know what? Let's take a very short break. When we come back from the break, I'll let you respond to Jennifer. Then I can now bring in Issy.
Oh, it was an embargo.
Nigeria's Niger Delta region, from where the black gold fuels Africa's largest economy, where the lines between wealth and poverty has never been thinner. Conflicts, poverty, insecurity, and environmental challenges daily confront the region. How can the Niger Delta story be changed for the better?
Join Mamude Akuga at 9 p.m. every Friday evening on Plus TV Africa as he probes deep in search of solutions.
Inside the Niger Delta with Mamude Akuga, the authentic voice of Nigeria's oil-rich region.
If you just tuned in, we're talking with Panache. We're having an amazing chat with Regina Chris Ugbodo on the impact of communicating right. Now, please let us hear what you have to say. Remember, you can join the conversation. Send us an SMS or WhatsApp to 081-803-84663. So before we went on the break, I said something about, speaking English and speaking it right. And I would like for you to address...
Wondering why. I really wonder why we should be so defensive about it. We're not complaining when it comes to Western dressing. We want to look completely American. We want to look completely English and not mind. Yet we want to think that that tongue is actually the only thing that would identify us as Nigerians. And I'm wondering why.
Where you got your tongue?
I wonder, but I think sometimes without, I don't want to be derogatory, but I think sometimes it's just mental laziness of not wanting to rise up to the challenge of speaking right, because there is something that happens to us when we meet the Englishman. We inadvertently want to speak like him. Mm-hmm. We've seen people in the crowd like that. Suddenly you see an American and then you want to say, I gonna do this. Not necessarily. Immediately you meet an American. You want to talk like him. Yeah. But why not just be natural? Learning.
Well, the funny thing, you are not sounding British. You're just speaking English properly.
Now, that's when you speak English properly, you cannot lose your identity. Because there's always the feeling of thinking, when I speak it right, I lose my identity. Having an accent doesn't really make you understand English better or less. Let's just get this very right.
So you
Jennifer, you can have an accent and speak very, very bad. It becomes very worse and an irritating.
Have an accent.
Exactly. So Jennifer is talking about losing her Nigerianness. But the truth of it is that you find it difficult if you want to be a global personality. Jennifer, you cannot just keep it, because whether you like it or not, you'll find it difficult conveying your message to those that do not identify with that accent.
Can I say something?
Because I want to bring in this.
I think, sorry. I think you're misconstruing what I said. Okay. So I'm not saying that the fact that you're trying to take away the accent is losing yourself as a Nigerian. No. What I'm saying is there's a difference between speaking right, the way you sound. If you listen to Chimamanda when she speaks, you can hear every word. You can pick everything that she's saying because she has been able to pronounce her words correctly.
Exactly.
And when she speaks very clearly. She doesn't necessarily have to shout or say too much for you to understand what she's saying. That's my point. All I'm trying to say is, based on what I have seen out there, especially when they are trying to teach kids how to speak right, instead of teaching them how to speak right, they are trying to teach them how to speak like the British,
or
how to sound
American. Let me let Issy come in.
Do you understand?
Yeah, I get you now.
So now, to address that question, I think the question should have been something like, what's the difference between speaking and talking? So I would ask that question, what's the difference between speaking and talking? Madam Vice President.
Thank you very much. Everybody can talk, but not everybody can speak. When I speak, you get my message there and then. But when I talk, I could rant and nothing is speaked out of it. So which one do you prefer? Do you want to speak or you want to talk? Animals talk, birds talk, even the non-living things talk. But why should I talk when I want to speak? That's the difference. I need to speak because I need a response. I need a feedback. It's like using a vehicle for communication. You know, the vehicle for communication. Now, communications, I mean, that's talking about the gadgets. If you do not use the real gadget, the right gadget, you don't get the right answer.
Exactly.
So why would I want to just use any gadget just because I want to?
Effectively.
I wouldn't. So talking, everybody can open his or her mouth and say something, but then when you speak, heads turn.
Absolutely.
That's it.
Okay, so when you speak, heads turn. You know, so because we're talking about the impact of right communication, I mean, I remember that when I just started my career in the media space, and I would go like in Nigeria, and I had the Benin nasal sound. I think that's the word.
London.
You know, those kind of things. You know? But my initial fear when RDJ of Blessed Memories came to meet us and said he wanted to start training us every Friday, you know, to help us with our words, pronunciations, how to read the papers and all of that. This concern that Jennifer raised was my initial fear, because I never want to sound like any other person other than Uwa.
Yeah.
And he goes like, no. So I think, again, maybe it's also who you are meeting. So you guys are in an association of diction coaches
of Nigeria.
This is huge. It's a big deal. Totally. What Jennifer is saying is not completely wrong. I believe that there must be some bad eggs. You know, so what are we doing as an association to get rid of those bad eggs? Because there are people, because that was my initial fear, but when RGJ started training us, I mean, sometimes I look back, I said, oh, is this how... You've come a long way, because where I am now is completely far from where I was when he met me, like, you know, when they say diamond in the rough. He met me in my rough state, and he taught me how to speak properly, you know, and I'm loving every moment. So most times I look at the word, I say, okay, and it's a beautiful feeling to know that you're speaking and you're speaking right. But you see, there would always be bad eggs, and that's why you have an association of coaches. So what are you people doing to rid those people of your, because they are giving you guys a bad name?
Well, of course, everywhere we have quacks. We have quacks everywhere.
Yeah.
Just like we do. Our case is not just reading them off. We're trying to retrain them.
Awesome.
That's our main target, because we have a dearth of coaches. So we cannot just read them off without, you know, first of all, trying to make them understand that this is the way to make it right.
Yeah.
Now, I agree with Jennifer, because I've had to go to my children's school to confront, I use the word intentionally, I had to confront the diction coach, and I told her, I said, you're teaching my children to sing like birds. I don't understand. Because, good morning, madam. How are you, madam? So it was just some undulating and rising and falling. Exactly. I said, that's not English. Can you just teach and my children had to tell her that that's not how it's spoken. And she took it a little bit personal. So I had to go there and said, look, I'm a diction coach. This is why my children acted the way they acted. So please, can we just... And I ended up voluntarily training my children's school. And I did the stuff, I think I did it more than 3 times. When I was okay, because I knew there's always this problem, the gap between the children learning at home, in school, and coming back to fall off. You know, some of them is going back to secondary school. Exactly. They do not have the best. So talking about reading or not, we don't read them off. But then we try to retrain, which is what we're intentionally doing we call it ADCAN. That's the acronym, ADCAN. We intend to retrain because we're hoping that they will learn, relearn, and unlearn. So there's going to be each moment we're going to make it zonally, we're going to make it a national training, either within 3 months, between maybe the gaps of 3 months or 2 months, depending on the need. But definitely we understand that many parents are already finding it difficult accepting some of the voices they hear when they see their children. So we're definitely going to work on that.
Okay, so Milola, sorry, you want to come in?
I believe that learning and speaking properly it's a personal journey.
Yes.
When you choose to do right by yourself, it's not because you think you're better than anybody else.
Exactly.
It's just for your enlightened self-interest. Whatever it is that I've chosen to acquire as a skill, it's for myself, primarily, And I am the one that define the matrix with which I measure my own performance. So it's not because I'm going to be a fashion designer that I need to speak properly. Exactly. It's not because I plan to run for public offices. It's just because I would love to put myself out there properly. And I think when people take it as a personal journey, you are less confrontational when you find somebody who thinks that you're not doing it right.
Precisely.
If there's any correction that comes to me in the way of pronunciation, it sticks with me because I make it a personal journey.
Conscious effort.
Yeah, so
improve self.
Yeah. So I was going to throw at that. Is it possible? Can anybody become better in English language? I mean, no matter how rough you are. Because I remember there was a time I met a CEO of one big company. I mean, she was the CEO of the company, and she had a very bad H factor. She's from the, all those people that would say Sampion, Ibadan. I mean, she was giving us her story. That was what she literally told us her story. You say Sampion, Yongshan, those kind of,
strong,
those kind of strong accent. And she said that. Because when you talked about personal journey, it has to come from that point where you say, I need to
want to improve myself.
Yes, and I think that was what my coach saw in me. I just genuinely wanted to do better.
Absolutely.
So is it possible? Can anybody become better? Can anybody speak like you? Or is there further?
How long? Also, why are you answering the question? Please,
oh my goodness.
How long does it take to improve? I understand that we all have a different learning pace.
Absolutely.
And we all get better differently. But on an average, how long do I need to sign up myself?
That's saying improvements.
For me to see that, okay.
Intensively, if you're deliberate about learning, intensive 8 weeks could do a great job.
Wow.
Intensive 8
weeks.
That's 2 months.
What's the...
three times a week.
3 times a week.
Okay. You start from the scratch, understanding pronunciations, phonetics, all the transcriptions and everything. Because until you put them together, you might not be able. Now to answer Uwe's question, anybody, it's within. She just said it. I've met people that come to me and say, Regina, I like the way you talk.
Exactly.
Or you speak. And then they'll say, can I learn it? I'll say, why not? And once they have that interest, just interest, it's not even the passion. The passion will go in.
So what are we doing right? Okay, let's take some comments about it. So when we communicate right, what are the benefits? Because people need to understand why we're even talking about this. What kind of doors does this open for you as a person?
Personally, you have confidence, self-confidence.
It
has a way of, I jokingly tell people, I'm dark in complexion. And I've had issues when I got here. I've had issues, people talking about my skin. I never had it when I was in the north. But when I open my mouth, they forget that I'm not.
It changes the narrative.
So it changes entirely everything. So nobody bothers to know my color. And all they want to do is to look at me.
And listen.
By the grace of God, I put it that way. And so it gives you self-confidence. And then in terms of opening doors, sometimes you might not be so intellectually high up there, but that you can speak.
You dazzle them with bullshit.
You dazzle.
Mind your language.
You could dazzle and get a position that nobody, the one that will say, I has come to sit down and do this job.
Absolutely.
You would have gotten it before that person comes. So it has a way of opening doors that it's limitless.
It's limitless.
So who can be an elocutionist if one decides to say, okay, I want to be an elocutionist?
I like that question
trainer.
because
you want to speak and teach people who can be an elocutionist.
Anybody that has a basic NCE diploma, what we call it, bachelors of science, anything. At least if you know, you understand your basic verb subject agreement, you can put them together. Don't come and tell me to teach you grammar first. But once you know that, I'll be able to say, okay, from there.
Let's take comments quickly. We're not out of time.
Bring you on board the ADCM.
You know, it's just like my boss would say, if you cannot impress them with brilliance, you dazzle them with bullshit. That was what she said. And that was what I was coming from.
I won't say the word on TV.
It's actually running from the word.
I don't know who this is from. It says, greetings, ladies. The biggest impact of communication is so evident by our past leaders, Tafawa Balewa, Nnamdi Azikiwe. They were able to paint the vision strongly. Till date, their voices still echo. Today is a huge struggle to listen and understand many current leaders. Now, moving on, he says, this singular inability has slowed us as a nation. If you can't paint the vision clearly, how can the followers have faith to surmount all? Please, do we have exemplary leaders in government whose impact of communication is helping to move us as a nation forward?
One person.
Now, this is part of what we also are looking at for. I'm not going to say it.
But I have one.
Who is that?
I can tell you.
Who is that?
I can tell you that Fashola has a way with words. He might not be... Fashola has it.
And I think Oshibajo has it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And I have someone that is an influencer, Fela Durotoye.
Yes.
You can't take it away from him. Sometimes you could just fall in love with him, just watching him.
Another person that has it, since we went there, Samadeyemi does.
You're right. I listen to him.
We actually have some.
Then
female leaders. I mean, we have a few. I think Obi Ezekwesili, she tries to deliver her points clearly.
But we have them more in the entertainment industry, especially my auntie. Today is her birthday, Auntie Joke.
Joke still.
She's fantastic. She's phenomenal. When it comes to the language, she threads it nicely. And you cannot take it from Auntie. Lycett.
Oh my God, you know Lycett.
She's actually the woman. I mean, when I listen to her, she's actually one of my mentors.
Oh, fantastic.
I love listening to her.
I love her as well. So let's take Milola's comment.
I have a comment, and it says, English is just like every other language. Speaking in a particular language means you understand its sounds and rhythm. If one of this is lost, the message conveyed could be read wrongly.
Who is this amazing commentator? I want to say thank you because you've summarized exactly what is on my mind. Yes. If I said it at the onset, I said, if you're speaking Hausa, even calling Hausa, it's a Hausa. I feel offended because it's Hausa. Why are you saying Hausa? So if we don't get the normal language, just like saying Kaduna, I say Kaduna, Abuja.
No.
Sometimes I'm like, what? Abuja, Kaduna.
All right, so learning the rudiments of any language helps one to communicate effectively in that tongue. Yeah. And communication is never complete without a feedback. This is from Rafaela Corey. Jennifer, do you have one final comment to say, or should we just move on? Because we have like 1 minute to go. Let me give you the last word.
I have a question. So for people who want to improve on their English and how to speak better and be more articulate, what platforms can they go to do this?
Oh, okay, that's fantastic. We can wrap it up.
With all pleasure. Come to my platform. Jennifer, and I'm serious. They can come to my platform and I can tell them that they would not waste their money. And when I mean my platform, I'm talking about the Association of Diction Coaches. I can tell you,
Nigeria.
We have a plethora of these great people.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that.
Oh, wow. So, no. We have to practice what we just learned. Thank you, Regina Ogodo.
It's been an amazing
conversation with you. We hope to start to do the panache.
I cannot wait.
Like
One
that.
hour went by very quickly.
Very quickly. We were having so much fun. Yeah. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Isia Fodele.
No, don't allow me to say a word.
The Lord is with you. Thank you, Milola. We just needed you for moral support today. It's not that we didn't. It's not that we didn't know what to say, but we needed you to be here for moral support, and you did justice to the moral support. Thank you to everyone that contributed. Thank you so much again. Do we want to quickly take one final comment? I think I just saw a final comment. Where is this comment? Okay, now we are looking for the comment. All right, so it says, my humble greetings, ladies. Communication should be passed on with the right vocabulary, pronunciation, and the rhythmic effect. Oh my God. Fantastic. This can go a long way to influence a nation in that when a message is conveyed using the right tone, it suits the mind of its listeners. Thank you, but you didn't put your name. All right, so... Before we go, do ensure you follow us on Instagram. It's at PlusTvAfrica. You can interact with us further, drop a comment, and more importantly, we're planning a giveaway to say thank you to you for believing in the Waze brand. Oh my God, I got a fantastic giveaway yesterday. Partnership. They want to be giving some Brazilian, Bohemian, bone straight hair. Oh God. All right, so make sure you follow us. So it's at PlusTvAfrica. You can join the conversation, like, share, and invite your family and friends to watch. So if you missed today's quote, here it is again. Communication is a skill that you can learn. It's like riding a bicycle or typing. If you're willing to work at it, you can rapidly improve the quality of every part of your life. So it's actually a rounded process. When you know how to communicate right, you change your life entirely. See you guys tomorrow at 8 p.m. So bring another great conversation to your screen. Enjoy.
It is engagement we need to have.
Those who suffer miscarriages are never taken into account.
Members of the National Assembly are also influence peddlers.
You are sitting on Nigerians' money.
From the Babin, I pay my rent. On the Babin, I send my children to school.
A consultative engagement.
No any tangible notification before they ban us.
It's one thing for people to be at your back and the heat of the moment, and another thing for them to still be with you when push comes to shove.
I will do everything to take Lagos out of the national grid.